Well, hey there folks, it's Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike and I'm doing bees right now. Welcome to Southeast Louisiana. Folks, I am out here in the bee yard. Y'all have saw me on the last video or the next video or whichever video, whatever order I put this out in, messing with honey out here in the fall. Well, I'm on this weak hive and I want to reduce it if it needs it. I don't know how much growth they've had since I was last in here. If they've had a lot of growth, I may not need to, but if they're just a small cluster and not a lot of honey in the top, I like to reduce them to a single and then grow them up out of the spring. So that's what we're going to do, is take a look and see what we got going on. Well, this hive was very weak and runny. This is one that we reduced in the spring, and then it built up and then it went downhill again. So I don't remember what all is in it, but we're going to find out. So getting bees back down in one box helps from demoralizing the queen and consolidates them, helps them against small hive beetles obviously and all that. And so that's what I want to do, but I got to see what's in here. It was very, very weak, and I need to see what I have on each frame, and that's how I reduce boxes. Remember how I do. This is not a how-to video. I'm not telling you that's the right, wrong, or indifferent. I know most people will do this that I talk to, but I'm basically going to evaluate the frames, consolidate everything to 10 frames if they need be, and make them in one box, and then go home and store this box and this comb in these frames. So I got a foundation that's never been touched. So what happened with this colony is we reduced it because it was weak, and they built up really big into the bottom deep. They did 10 good frames of bees. We gave them a second, then we had the no flow. So they started filling this one, so we know we got good honey up here. But I want to say the bottom maybe emptied back out. I don't know. And the brood was poor. They didn't have EFB or signs of it, but look, all nectar. So they're bringing in off of this goldenrod flow nectar again. But my concern is if the bees have not built up and there's not a lot of brood, it's going to be a long road to hoe for them come winter time. Not saying that we have harsh winters, but they need brood. And see, that's what I'm looking at. Look at that. That's just garbage. That's no good. Looks like spotty, but the larvae are healthy. I'm not seeing any sign of EFB, but plenty of young larvae. She's just real spotty. So she's inferior anyway, based on last year having to reduce her and then her grow up. So what I'm thinking is we're going to have to requeen this colony. So yeah, I'm seeing very, very spotty. I'm not seeing signs of EFB. That's good. Just spotty brood, just nasty brood. Very spotty. So we're going to move this over. All right, that's honey there. Let's see what we got down here. Ooh, didn't like that, did they? They might have an empty box down here. It's all empty. I want to say this box is empty. And what I would normally do in a strong colony is if I have a box that's empty in the bottom, but they're good and strong in the top box, you know, say they got 6 or more frames of bees in the top with honey and stores and brood and looks better than that, and say the bottom is just all empty. At this time of year, what I will do is leave them. She'll move down if she has to, but I'll just leave them, and I'll leave that underneath that box, because come January I'll reverse them about the 3rd week of January, and it's already set up and ready to go. I don't have to go store it, put it into wax crystals, freeze them, anything like that. I can just leave them here and let the bees tend to them. But see, that's what I'm seeing right here is empty. She might just be stovepiping on me, and yeah, I think that's what she's doing. See, again, that old nasty spotty brood. Just not a good looking queen at all. But she's in both boxes. Let's see, 1, 2. I want to check this frame, make sure we don't have any sign of any foul brood, but See, this is all emerging. This is not even, she's got no fresh eggs in here. Yeah, they're just all filling this back up. So I still might reduce them. Yeah. So there's only a couple frames down here, so we're going to reduce them. That's full of bee bread. So we're going to leave them that one. Here's what we're going to do. Now it's a numbers game. Box has got some honey in it, but little roaches under there. Oh. So we've reduced, or we have swapped the boxes. I am going to sacrifice some of their honey. We'll put it in the freezer and save it for other colonies. I want to give them a bee bread frame. That's a nectar frame. We're going to move the honey to the outside. This is nectar. I'm going to give them a empty brood frame. I'm going to give them this pollen frame that I've got covered in dirt. I'll have to clean it out. Might take one more honey off the side and give them one of their brood frames back, the better of the two. But that's how I'm going to do it. They're getting ornery. They don't like me tearing through them, and I can't blame them. So yeah, they're going to go with one box of bees. So when you look down, you think, wow, they're doing good, but they're really not. That's a fume board sitting under there. They're coming up. This seems to hold the most promise as far as being configured nicely. Might give them this frame of honey instead of this partial frame of nectar and honey because they need some food. This is pretty light. Give them this honey here. There's the queen. There's Miss Inferior. Y'all see her on the top of that frame? That's her. Gotta get her in there. There she is. I'm gonna go right back out of that box. She does not want to be in here. That's pretty amazing. She didn't want to be in there. So there they are all gathered up. Oh man, I tell you what, that queen absolutely did not want to go in there. That was the best thing for them, was reduce them. She's been reduced before. You see how poor that pattern is. Didn't see any sign of foul brood. It's just terrible. She was inferior before. I should have requeened her, but when she grew that bottom box, when we got that initial boost of nectar, I tell you, I thought she had made a turnaround. I thought she was fine. But then after we harvested honey, she obviously just went right downhill. Could have been a mite load. Who knows what it could have been, you know. Maybe we treated too late. Who knows? But that right there, y'all remember the little swarm we caught? That would have been last weekend. Little itty bitty swarm. Will they live? Will they die? I don't know. Let's see if they have taken to the comb. I mean, still here. That's a good thing. Now, when I opened them at the house to check on them and release the queen, I want to tell you, I don't know if you've ever seen this. I have seen this to where they're still in that cluster mode, like a swarm cluster, and they haven't moved, haven't done anything, and they had a few bees on the queen, and that's it. I've seen that before where they're not settled, so it's a good thing I left the queen in there, in that cage. They're so tiny. I do have a plan for them, but I did find one that had a whole bunch of emergency cells that have been chewed open, and so I don't know if that queen will make it. There's still a good amount of bees, so what I might do is just take this home in another week and combine it on top of them. Let's see if our queen, they've got some pollen in here, so they're out collecting. There's our queen. There she is. She's made it already, so it's definitely, she's a big old long queen. You definitely want, oh, full of eggs, so there you go. Put her back in there. So we may end up just taking her, and we'll, you know what they really need? I'm gonna give them some more of that comb. Ah, the colony we just reduced. I can put some comb in here. I got some good comb they can have, and some honey. So here's what we're gonna do. She's not on the lid, she's still down in there. I'm gonna take this frame out. Don't need that in there, that was just a filler. Gonna put her, this frame's got honey and space to lay. This nice frame full of honey. It's got a little bit of space on this side, so she's got places to put eggs as she tries to grow in the next couple weeks. And they got weight to them now, because remember, there's a full honey frame over here, and while that's, you know, on its face it's light, it's really not, considering that it's only got a few bees. So there's not really enough bees, although she's putting brood in, to really think they're going to do anything. But as I was saying, I found that one at home. I looked through different colonies, was looking to see if I found any swarm cells, and I didn't. So what I did was I happened to be standing next to a real weak one, one that I wanted to reduce, and so I opened it up, and all of a sudden I'm seeing cells, but they're all emergency cells. Like you could tell, they're on the face of the frame, bunches of them, and they're built off of the comb. Not nice swarm cells. So for whatever reason, maybe when I was going through, or maybe she died because it was a very weak colony, they made a new queen. Did she get mated is going to be the question. So in a couple weeks I'll know that, but this one's going to amount to nothing, depending on what she puts in. I mean, if she in 2 weeks, that's 21 days, she can, with her eggs now, yeah, so 3 weeks she'll have some bees coming out. I mean, she could potentially make a good enough cluster to survive our winter, but I could take this nuke, put my piece of newspaper down, because I would newspaper combine them, because there's a chance the other queen would be in there, maybe not mated. Put them together, and then I can just take the other side of the 10 frame I put them on and put a lid on that and merge them. So I got a place for her if I need to. So we're going to watch them. Gave them plenty of honey. She's laying, she's there. Resource colony at this point. So maybe it's a good thing I caught them this late. Who knows? This is our EFB hive, or what we suspect was EFB. I don't know 100% for sure without a test kit, but the larvae sure look like it. I wanted to wait 2 weeks, but I'm here, and I don't know if I'm gonna be when I'm coming back out. The flow's still strong right now. Actually, I think it's stronger now than it's been. Well, larvae don't look bad. I'd rather see it capped more. Larvae looks good in here. See the next frame. I see one larvae that's curled up, but that doesn't look like foul brood. That's just a bad larvae. It's not brown. I don't know. Let's look. It's clearing out. The larvae looks good. That's not larvae. That looks like a debris. I mean, it all looks healthy, folks. It's all healthy. It's just at all different stages. She's all over the place. And this is all bee bread and nectar. Full of nectar. Full of honey. Alright, so they got food. The larvae doesn't look bad. They got plenty of food in here. Probably need to give them more. That's the problem. They don't have enough space to lay. So I went back and got a open frame. They've got so much honey in here, plus nectar they're storing. I'm gonna go ahead and give them an open frame for her to lay in, since she seems they've cleared out pretty well. I don't want to roll my queen. Ouch. They've got so much honey in here. I'm gonna give her some more open space. Got a little bit of bee bread in it. I need to scrape this off. And we need to put this in there. Give her some more space to lay, since we got a little more laying time left. They don't need all that honey. Shoot, it's still very heavy for that size colony. I had too much honey in there. We're not going to be able to tell if she can lay, but it appears that that nasty larvae is cleared up. I saw one little larvae curled up, but it wasn't like curled up like foulbrood, so that's good. So it looks like they cleared out. Every YouTube viewer needs a sentimental bloke as a commenter. He's actually a lot like me. He's very much one of those guys that just tells you like it is and how he feels. We all need sentimental blokes like him. I did not get the towels on, you are right. I wasn't ready to throw them on just yet, because first of all, robbing. Second, just didn't have the stuff and wasn't going to go out and buy it just yet. And what I'm talking about is the essential oils, the camphor and the tea tree oil to make the towels to help with what Bob Benny was trying. And Sentimental Bloke, he also told me about it. And he told me about it at the same time Bob's video came out. He said he had a different mixture, but he keeps me straight. He gets on me sometimes. Sometimes he irritates me. Sometimes I'm very happy with his comments and he gives me great pointers, but that's one I did not do. You're right, Sentimental Bloke, I did not do it. I mean, I really wasn't super concerned at the time because they were so small and I didn't want to go get everything and mix it up just for that one colony. Anyway, EFB seems to be cleared out. They have a good amount of bees. She's got one of the most horrible patterns, just like that other weak colony. Other than that, everybody else is growing and a lot of activity. Looks like this flow is really coming in good and strong. That's good. And I harvested a few boxes off of them just to get the honey off, and left a few boxes on the stronger ones to make sure they got room. So we're clicking along, folks. We're clicking along. So I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here. Time to get on back to the house. I appreciate all you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed this little video. It's Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike and I do bees. Today we reduced bee space. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week, and may God bless you. We'll see y'all later.